Right, this is case studies. This is a brief PowerPoint on everything you need to know for A level for case studies. So, first off, what is a case study? That's an in-depth investigation, description and analysis of a single individual, group, institution or event. So the way you've probably come across it before is more for individuals, like Jeannie, you may have studied during development, who suffered from extreme privation at an early age, or you may have looked at memory case studies like the case of HM, or the case of KF, who both had brain injuries which meant that their memory didn't function normally. So it's an in-depth investigation of a particular individual. It might be of a group, if you're looking at something more like group dynamics or something that's like a social psychology thing, or an event or an institution. So it can be any, as long as it's an in-depth investigation, description and analysis. What does it involve? So we get lots of lovely qualitative data that's really nice and rich in detail. You construct a case history. So to do that you can use all sorts of different things. You can use interviews, questionnaires. You can actually get quantitative data as well by doing psychological tests. And that was probably done in the case of HM and KF. Interviews with family and friends, to get other people's points of view, so it's less subjective. So lots of different methods can be used to put your case history together, and this can be a longitudinal one. So Jeannie is a good example because she was found when she was 7, I think, and then over time she was studied to see what the effects were of the experience that she'd had. So it can be a longitudinal thing, it doesn't just have to be a short-term study. Right, in terms of evaluation, the strengths of a case study is that we get really nice, rich, detailed insights into human behaviour. So in a way that, like, asking 15 people to complete a questionnaire ticking boxes just doesn't give you this. So you're really able to interview someone and get lots of data about them and really try to get to the bottom and understand their experience. So detailed insights into human behaviour. It also can contribute to our understanding of normal functioning. So, for example, Clive Waring, or any of these memory examples, KF, for example, showed that helped us to understand what was normal in terms of the working memory model, because he, I can't remember the details, he had one part of his working memory functioning normally and the other part not. So that showed us, that helped us to put together the working memory models, because we could understand what was normal and what wasn't. It can lead to the creation of hypotheses for further studies, for future studies. So it can shed a light on a particular phenomenon that hasn't yet been studied. It can say, well, actually, if this isn't functioning properly in this way, then maybe we're looking at normal functioning in the wrong way. So it can give us quite a lot of insight into different things. In terms of weaknesses, you've got the problem here is that you can't really generalise your findings to lots of people because you've obviously got a sample of 1. So generalising your findings to any kind of wider population is going to be an issue, because you haven't even seen if it's the same between 2 people. But that can mean you can go off and obviously do bigger research and find out if it is true for other people, whatever you're investigating. Information going on to the final report is subjective and prone to investigator bias. So this is obviously because you've got one investigator that's carrying out this case study, they get to choose what goes on, so they can miss out things that kind of don't fit whatever theory they're investigating or whatever their finding is. They can miss those out of the report completely, and that might not be a malicious thing. That might well be a, oh, I'm going to just subconsciously forget about that because I'm not interested in it because it didn't fit what I'm looking for. So it is really prone to investigator bias, that sense of I'm going to choose what goes in here. Accounts from memory are prone to inaccuracy and memory decay, so often people are being interviewed about things that happened in their past, and that's notorious for being potentially inaccurate. And all of these things mean that case studies often can be low in validity, or may be low in validity. We don't know for definite that they've been affected by these things, but they may well be. Investigator bias, there's no way to know whether or not that's affected a case study, because the only person that knows everything that was said in the as part of the case history is the investigator themselves. So all of these things might mean that we end up with a study that's low in validity. Okay, so that's case studies.